We know that you're cool, calm, and collected. That hair and that gel never moves. But who won the trade of Fields to Pittsburgh?
Oh, this wasn't even close, right? This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This was a giveaway. Basically, here he is, Justin Fields, and he can work in unison with Russell Wilson. He can give you those packages and give defensive coordinators not one but two quarterbacks to have to defend against and prepare for. So Pittsburgh Steelers, hey, they had their quarterback. He's 25 years of age. He's won with a team that didn't have much around him. He can beat you with his arm, with his legs. He could maybe be a top 5 to 7 quarterback in this league. Russell Wilson's 35. He's 25. This is a steal for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and in a division where I'm sure the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns are not thrilled about this. Can we have them go somewhere else other than their division? Are you kidding me? The Steelers and Justin Fields is a match made in heaven.
Jeff, is it a mistake for the Steelers to have already named Russell Wilson the starter? You hear Merrill talk about Justin Fields maybe being a top 5 or top 7 quarterback possibly. So why is the time now to say that Russell is the guy?
It's only a mistake, Ryan, if you actually believe it. And that's the thing. I don't. And I can't believe that even the people who are reporting this as such believe that ultimately Russell Wilson is the starter and that's it. I mean, other than the Pittsburgh Steelers saying, yeah, Russ, if you come to us for the veteran minimum, you're the starter, and then to everybody else, cool. But right now, there is no way that Justin Fields goes into training camp, does not compete with Russell Wilson. And quite honestly, if you're putting odds on this, I've got Fields having better odds of winning the starter job after what we've seen from Russell Wilson the past 2 years than Russell Wilson. I think the second that there is any vulnerability here, I mean, you just heard Clement right there talking about the idea of being upset that Fields is gone. That tells you how well liked he is in a locker room. I think he's going to go into Pittsburgh and potentially win this job during training camp.
Tim, to me, though, that doesn't sound like a recipe for a great quarterback room. Presumably, the Chicago Bears traded Justin Fields so they wouldn't have a room with some discord if they drafted a young rookie quarterback at number 1. So is a quarterback controversy inevitable in Pittsburgh?
I think it is, Ryan, because, you know, when you look at the situation, it's a little bit like what Jeff just laid out. Look, Justin Fields, I'm sure, sees himself as a starter, and I think there are a lot of people in this league, and I'm sure probably people in the Steelers organization, that look at Justin Fields as a starter. And so with that, he's going to want to play, and if he's not the starter to start the season, I think there are going to be Bears fans that are excited to see what Justin Fields can do. And then beyond that, Russell Wilson, while I think he's one of the 32 best quarterbacks on the planet, he's going to enter into a new team, a new offense. It's going to be a little bit different than things he's done in the past. And so he has to play well. He doesn't have the financial protection to keep him on the field if he is struggling or if the team isn't winning. And so, yeah, I do think that they're in a situation where they absolutely are headed to a scenario where people are excited to see Justin Fields play, and there's going to be no protection for Russell Wilson financially to keep him on the field.
Mel, you know Justin Fields' skill set more than anyone, having scouted him coming out of Ohio State. When you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers moving on to Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator, is this a place where Justin Fields can thrive?
I think he can. I really do. I think when you look at the pressure that's on him right now, it's alleviated by Russell Wilson being there. As Jeff said, he'll compete. He'll compete hard. If it's Russell Wilson's job, you can work him in. He will be on the field, giving defenses a lot to worry about. It's a win-win for the Steelers. If Russell Wilson can be kind of recreate what he did during those glory years with the Seattle Seahawks, great. Then Justin's 25. He's sitting there. He's waiting for his turn, right? If he isn't, then you got Justin Fields who can take over at some point. In a division where you have Lamar and Burrow and Watson, and an AFC loaded with the great Mahomes and Allen and all the other ones. So you can't fool around here at quarterback. You got to try to get to that level, and they feel with Wilson/Fields, they can do it. So to me, it's a perfect win-win that they created. I think the Chicago Bears, again, this is the ultimate giveaway.
Tim, when you think about this quarterback room now, you have the young, talented guy who's trying to figure out a way to be a part of a team, to be a franchise quarterback, and Russell Wilson, who's on the back end of his career. In this quarterback room, is this something that the Pittsburgh Steelers can find success with?
Yeah, listen, I don't think they did a good job with it. I think the personalities matter. I think where guys are in the stage of their careers and how they see themselves matter. Russell Wilson, by all accounts, is playing on league minimum this year for his next deal. So a guy who's playing for his next deal has no interest in helping out a guy that sees himself as a starter right now. That is the part to me where you look at this dynamic where it doesn't work. And so I think in that regard, and listen, I still think it's good for Pittsburgh because they added two guys that I think are better than the guy that they had. But I think that the way that it plays out probably is not the best, and I think there'll be awkward moments. I'm sure the leadership in Pittsburgh will deal with it as well as any team in the league. But I think ultimately this turns into Justin Fields' football team.
Jeff, a quick take from you. I want to ask a question. Was the Justin Fields trade a knee-jerk reaction or a reaction to losing Kenny Pickett, or was this something that they always wanted to do in Pittsburgh with new general manager in his second year, Omar Khan?
Mike Tomlin has long loved Justin Fields. Important point here as we consider that competition. One quick follow-up on something that Tim said earlier. When you talk about the financial stability of Russell Wilson's situation, he's getting paid $39 million no matter what because of the Denver Broncos. He took $1.2 million to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when he says they have no financial obligation here, he is exactly right. That's what makes this quarterback competition truly a competition, regardless of what the Pittsburgh Steelers say.
Well, Russell Wilson will be getting his $40 million no matter what. But if he's playing for his next contract, I know Mike T wants him to play with his hair on fire and hopefully win some playoff games. We're going to hurry up with Jeff Darlington starting in Dallas. Jeff, the Cowboys adjusted Dak Prescott's contract yesterday. What does this mean for them?
Well, this doesn't mean all that much, Ryan. Ultimately, what they did is they threw a lawn chair off the Titanic. They need to figure out way more when it comes to Dak Prescott's contract. They basically converted $5 million of his signing bonus into guaranteed money for this coming season. That only frees up $4 million from what will be a $59 million cap hit in 2024. They need to fully redo Dak Prescott's contract if they're going to get any true cap relief for this coming season.
Tim, the Dallas Cowboys were supposed to be all in on this offseason. Has the mishandling of Dak's contract situation set them back?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question it has, Ryan. And I think, they're paying for their reluctancy to do a deal when they immediately knew that Dak could play years ago. When they started playing that game of chicken to basically say, like, look, you've been the biggest bargain in sports, and we're going to hold the fact that you haven't made a lot of money against you, try to offer you an under-market deal. And Dak basically said, look, I'm not signing it. I'm going to play this out to the end, have the franchise tag sitting there. When he did that, he basically won a game of chicken with Jerry Jones. And by doing that, he made himself a lot of money. Dallas has had to kind of kick the can down the road in terms of his contract, but now they're paying for it. And so, look, that's not Dak's responsibility. I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, well, listen, like do what you need to do to get guys around you. That's not Dak's job. That's the Cowboys front office job. And so, when you look at what they've done, because of what they've had to pay Dak and how they've had to pay him, that was their own fault. It's a bed they made that they're sleeping in now, and it's hurting them this offseason.
Jeff, Mike Williams was in New York to meet with the Jets yesterday. What have you heard about Mike Williams possibly joining the team?
Well, and he still is. He landed in New York last night and ultimately for that meeting with the Jets. But this is a situation where Williams has other meetings lined up. The Steelers are another team that has shown interest in Williams. We do anticipate him eventually visiting there as well. So he does have other teams. The Panthers, another team in the mix here. But the Jets will get their first shot at Mike Williams. We'll find out if they can lock him in and keep him from leaving the building.
Listen, the Jets understand that they've built this team around Aaron Rodgers. He goes down on the fourth play last year, and the team is in disarray. So in building a team around Aaron Rodgers, now you go out, you get Morgan Moses. You're trying to add players on the outside. Tim, if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, will that make the Jets the division favorites?
Yeah, listen, I think it puts them right at the top, RC. When you look at, the Jets, they've been really good on the defensive side of the ball. I think that'll continue to be the case. And I don't know that we can, understate what a healthy Aaron Rodgers means to the entire offense. I think they'll run the football better. I think they'll protect the quarterback better because of how quickly he's able to get rid of the football. And I think they become a more explosive offense. I think that he's that good. I think he makes that much of a difference. And I think we tend to, kind of out of sight, out of mind, certain things in the National Football League. Aaron Rodgers has had a stretch which has been as good as any quarterback in the National Football League. He basically misses all of last year, to your point. I think if he comes back and plays like he did 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I think it makes that big of a difference for the New York Jets.